This video is a brief introduction to what goes on at a polling place on Election Day. We'll talk about your duties as election judge and special situations later in your training class. But first, we're going to talk about the perfect voting experience. The perfect voting experience begins at home. The voter in our video checked online at elections.maryland.gov at least 3 weeks before Election Day to make sure she was registered to vote and to find her polling place. Then, when her sample ballot came in the mail, she checked on the back to confirm that everything was correct. Then she took the time to review her sample ballot and came prepared to vote.
Once inside the polling place, she turns off her phone. She knows that, by law, there are no phones or cameras allowed in the polling place. If she wants to wear a button or t-shirt for her favorite candidate, that's okay, as long as she doesn't leave any campaign literature lying around.
When a voter checks in, they need to give their name, address, and month and day of birth. To protect their privacy from anyone who might be listening, we do not ask the year.
The election judge follows the steps in her job guide as she practiced in her hands-on training class to check in the voter and print her voter authority card, which is an oath affirming that her voter information is correct and that she meets all the requirements to vote. The election judge will tell the voter her options to mark her ballot, either by hand or electronically, and will direct the voter to the ballot table or the ballot marking device table.
At the ballot table, another election judge will check her voter authority card and make sure to give her the right ballot. She gets her ballot in a privacy sleeve so she can keep her choices a secret.
Mark it with a pen. Make sure you completely fill out the ovals. Okay. If you make a mistake, don't cross it out or erase it because you don't make the vote not count. Just raise your hand and alert someone and people come and help you. Is there any assistance we can provide for you today? No. Voting area here, standing area, seated areas, whichever you may choose. And if you need any assistance, let us know. Okay. Require any assistance?
All right. No, not at all. Thank you.
Would you like to stand or sit?
Sit.
Next, she goes to a voting booth where she will mark her ballot, filling in ovals by hand.
If she has a disability or finds it difficult to mark her ballot by hand, that's not a problem at all. She can still have a perfect voting experience and mark her ballot independently and privately using a special ballot marking device with an audio ballot, a touch screen, and other accessibility features.
If she needs a translator, that's not a problem either. She can bring her own translator, or we can call one for her on the phone. Every polling place has at least one election judge who speaks Spanish, and the county's language line offers translation services on Election Day in more than 150 different languages.
Once she has finished marking her ballot and is satisfied with the choices she has made, she can take it to the digital scanner and cast her ballot.
The election judge knows that each voter's privacy is very important, so the judge stands nearby in case the voter needs any help, but keeps their eyes away from the voter's ballot.
Are you ready to cast your ballot?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I need your little slip of paper. Okay, and you can slide your ballot in that gray tray following the arrow.
Okay.
The voter hands her voter authority card and her privacy sleeve to the election judge and gets an I voted sticker. That's it, a perfect voting experience.
Thank you so much for voting today.
Thank you.
Here's your I voted sticker, and if you've got a couple of minutes, we'd like you to fill out this survey form to give us some feedback on how you think the voting process went today.
Oh, certainly.
As an election judge, you'll do your best to help every voter have a perfect voting experience. Sometimes, though, voters will need your help to handle a special situation. For example, they may need to vote a provisional ballot that goes into a special orange ballot bag if, for example, their address doesn't match their voting record, they're in the wrong polling place, or they've already been sent an absentee ballot. There are also procedures that you will be trained to follow to protect the integrity of the voting process. like documenting the chain of custody of voting materials and making sure that the number of voters who check in matches the number of ballots cast.
You will also set up the polling place the night before and break it down after the polls close. You are not allowed to leave the polling place on Election Day, so bring your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and be sure to wear comfortable shoes. It's a long day, but a great way to serve your community.